Every time she walked through the university courtyard, she felt an inexplicable pull toward the same tree. She remembered what her mother used to whisper when she was little. They are alive, just like us. Speak softly, treat them kindly, they listen, and they understand more than you think. And then a question crossed her mind. Will I too be able to hear them one day? One day, after class, she once again passed through the garden. She felt the urge to stop and speak to the tree, but at the last moment, she changed her mind. Days passed, one after another, and finally, she decided to give it a try. She stood before the tree and greeted it with respect. She closed her eyes, placed a hand on its trunk, and simply waited. Slowly, all the sounds around her began to fade, and then a faint hum started. The first words came from the girl.
Hello,
She said to the tree.
Hello?
Came the response. The girl is taken aback by the first reply. A quiet sense of pride fills her heart. She then gathers her focus, unsure of where to begin, and says the first thing that comes to her mind.
Isn't the weather so unpredictable? One moment it's hot, the next it's cold. I was so worried it might hurt you. But you held on. It feels like a silent revolution of green life. Oh, sorry, please forgive my excitement. How are you?
We've seen better times. The climate is shifting now. Just look at Mount RCS. The winter has passed. Its peak is nearly bare. It used to be snow-covered all year round. Our world is warming. The blindness and deafness of humanity will be the end of us all. They don't realize while a 6-degree drop once triggered an ice age, now a mere 1.5-degree rise could bring devastation. Would you like me to tell you a tale?
The girl lowers her gaze in silence, feeling a little embarrassed. The girl nods with gratitude. The tree begins to speak.
Once upon a time, there was a ruler who valued justice, compassion, and wisdom above all else. To him, everything and everyone in his land was precious, from the tiniest stone and the most delicate plant to the baby sleeping in a cradle and the elder walking with a cane. And so this noble trait of the ruler began to reflect in his people as well. The people were deeply respectful toward nature and one another. Whenever they had to cut down a tree, they would first seek its consent by planting 3 saplings, one for the past, one for the present, and one for the future. Saying, "Blessed be my yesterday, today, and tomorrow," they completed the ritual. The ruler's only concern was that one day this harmony would be forgotten, and people would lose their sense of wisdom and compassion. One day, the monarch, feeling helpless with these worries again, decided to tell his problems to the wise wizard in his palace. Wise magician Oxacal, there is a subject that has entered my dreams for a long time and caused me to suffer torment. I see other people in my dreams. Each of them has blood on his hands. There is no land in the land where they live. Do they know what the soil smells like after rain? The animals had been locked in cages. To feel any semblance of happiness, they swallowed tiny things. They spoke only to a piece of glass standing before them. I do not wish for my people to live like this. I ask you to craft a mirror, one that will make them confront their own conscience. Let those who have done wrong see a distorted, ugly reflection staring back at them. Let each mirror show every soul their own truth. Let the voice of conscience rise from its reflection. Once the mirrors were ready, they were carefully distributed to the people. The officials declared, "These mirrors are the trust of this land. Treat them with the respect they deserve." Time flowed like a silent river, and eventually the great ruler closed his eyes to this world. His youngest son ascended the throne in his place. Though they came from the same bloodline, they did not share the same spirit. Unlike his father, the new king cared only for his desires and valued nothing beyond himself. As soon as he took the throne, the first thing he did was shatter the mirror in the palace. He told the people, the mirrors no longer hold any meaning. As time went on, the young king began to sell everything in the country. First, he cut down the trees in the forests. Then the animals were hunted and slaughtered. With some of the money he made by selling his land, he brought poisoned seeds from other countries. These seeds produce only once, and then they poison the soil. The earth began to wither, slowly dying. When the people faced hunger, the king began to strike fear into his country to prevent a rebellion. Over time, he became afraid of his own people. One day, like his father, he decided to consult the wizard in the palace, but Ecological is no longer alive. There's a smart guy in his place now. He was ambitious, but not virtuous. The king, filled with anger, said, "I don't understand. Didn't God create the universe for humans? They say that nature is deteriorating, so what about it? Has it ever been seen in history that the seas have dried up? Generations are disappearing? You are right, my sovereign. Your father once cast a powerful spell on Oxacal. If you want, I can do the exact opposite of that. I will make a magical mirror," he said. "Distribute it to all your people. The more people look into it, the more they want to look. The mirror will always show them as beautiful. Over time, they'll lose their ability to make decisions. You can then tell the mirror what to show them whenever you want, and the mirror will show them just that." The king liked this idea very much. He gave the order, and the mirrors began to be made. As the days passed, people grew sicker. The skies turned gray. The waters began to smell of chemicals, and the earth became barren. The king started to feel regret, but it was too late. He no longer had the energy he once had. He couldn't even gather the strength to speak to the mirror. He had unleashed a disaster driven by his ambition and now had no idea how to stop it. His ignorance and indifference brought about his bitter end. He died in pain in his bed. "I know that you are aware," it said. "If you weren't, we wouldn't be able to speak. I also know that when you want to change and heal things, wizards can create magical mirrors, but knowing how to use them makes you powerful, Eva. Use that mirror to heal. Just as the king's son instructed the mirror for his gain, you speak your truth for the good of the entire universe. Do not fear. Good and evil have always existed and always will. We are all connected through invisible threads across the universe. Only the wise can see this. You are me, I am you. We are the universe. Never forget that."
Eva sighed deeply. Another question formed in her mind.
I can speak with it, but can I become it?
Eva, do you like watching the stars in the sky?
Yes. It used to be my favorite thing as a child. I can't see them much anymore.
Have you ever wished to change their places?
No, they're beautiful just the way they are.
Then, Eva, aren't you beautiful just the way you are?
I'm not a star.
Perhaps you're their star. Have you ever thought of that?
I want to root myself in the heart of the earth like you.
Eva, there are 1,001 ways to grow roots. There's a reason you're here in this form. Think, understand, and move forward.
Near the end, Eva began to feel dizzy. When she realized she was breathing with pain, she knew it was time to return. She paused, took a deep breath, and returned to her body. A sweet breeze caressed her face as she opened her eyes, and the pink blossoms on the tree greeted her. She looked at the tree with gratitude, wanting to imprint every detail into her memory. She touched her face with the hands she had rested on the trunk. She wiped away her tears. She took another deep breath. Eva now knew she was no longer the same person. With the awareness of her power, she began considering what she might change.
Welcome me.
Glad to be here, me.
She thought to check her watch, wondering how much time had passed. Only 19 minutes had gone by.